All right, call to order. It is 3/17/2026, 7:31. We are a short one today. Is he coming in? Did you hear from
I haven't
him?
heard from anyone.
Okay. We were all but short one, Dave
Okay.
Anderson, in session. Call to order. Have you ever had a chance to look at the agenda today?
Yes.
Yes. Anybody have any adds or removes, or do they like it?
Motion
Seems
to
favorable
approve.
agenda.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda passes. Consent agenda. Did you have any problems there with anybody with the 17th of 26 and the minutes approval of March 6, 26 special meeting and EDA's treasurer report on the consent agenda? Do we?
Mr. Chair, I should add, I did not have time to assemble the EDA or the commercial property inquiries, but there's a paper copy on the dais. So that would be, should be a part of the consent agenda.
Okay. Everybody got that?
Yeah. Yes.
Consent agenda. Motion to approve.
I'll motion.
Second.
I'll second.
I thought you were seconding. I was like, I don't think you can.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Open forum, 7:35. John, do we have anybody online today? Do we have nobody in the audience?
No.
John, old business?
Okay, I'm just going to make a note here. Okay. First item, 5A, is damaged and abandoned utility boxes. There's nothing new on here for the last couple of months. Sidewalks, kind of the same thing. There's nothing new with that. Kind of the intent is that this spring the sidewalks will be replaced. We're not quite at spring yet. Let's see. Next is the railroad spur. I did hear back from TKDA that here is the cost of the facility study that's been provided to Semstone. So at this time, Semstone is the only customer that I've found that is interested in the spur. King Solutions confirmed that they would not participate in the cost. So any questions on that?
What was the cost?
I'm going to say between $12,000 for the feasibility study and then $15,000 to write a grant application, roughly.
Okay.
Questions? No?
I don't. So they've accepted the information and they're just processing now?
Semstone, yes.
Okay. Well, there you have that.
Yeah.
Anybody questions? None? All right.
Okay.
Lent Property, go ahead.
Next, we have Robinson Street. No update with that. So again, just remind everyone, we had a closed session in November to settle on kind of an asking price, and no update since November.
Just that one
Just,
low ball
yes.
offer.
Yep, 40-foot wide lot.
So basically, no updates.
Not in old business. I feel like I'm missing a slide here.
Municipal property.
Oh, probably. I don't have a slide for that. Okay. With the Lent property, just get my bearings straight a little bit. With the Lent property, we've had, or I should say, IAG has had a number of inquiries on it, but no offers on it. So most of those inquiries have come off of people seeing the sign. So I mean, there is interest in it, but it's more, I think, of I've got a really good idea, but I don't have money to do it. So I think for the Lent property, what it's probably going to be is, I'm going to say matching potential tenants with someone that can afford to build the project. So
Yeah.
it'll probably be some time before we're gonna be able to sell that, which is totally fine.
Is the, just related, there's a house that burnt down just up the street. Does anyone know what the
They plan on rebuilding it.
rebuilding?
Yeah.
Okay. A home, a single-family home?
Probably multifamily.
Okay.
Any other questions about the Lent? Robin Street
Okay.
tax forfeiture.
Yep, so Robinson Street, again, November, we had a closed session to set a price for it. I don't have any updates since November.
Dayton Parkway Tax Forfeit property. That's our triangle, right?
Yes, the Triangle property, and, I apologize, oh, there we go. So the on the dais is marketing material, so this just was posted on the market yesterday. We've had, for several years, we've had calls on this property, so I would suspect that we'll have a written offer at some point in the near future. And when I say near, I don't know if that's weeks or if that's months. But this is a much easier property to market and sell. The property is zoned for general business, was, generally speaking, is commercial or commercial use. Let's see. A lot of the interest is going to be industrial, so something to keep in mind is when you get offers is what is the highest and best use of this property? Is it industrial or is it commercial? And if it's commercial, I'd like the EDA to think about what you would like to see there.
And you had a list of like all the inquiries,
Yeah.
like over the years, I guess? Different types of things it looked like in the minutes or on the sheet somewhere. I read last night.
Yeah, so in the
I assume that's what that was.
Yeah, so in the packet, there's a staff report that has kind of what are the permitted and conditional uses for that site.
Oh, those are those weren't the interested?
No.
Okay.
No.
I
The
missed
last
that.
interest that we had specific for this property was for a truck wash.
Interesting. Great if they want to spend 14 million on a truck wash, knock yourself out.
Yep. So, again, I'm going to encourage the EDA to come up with a vision for this property and then hold on to that vision. So don't
I believe we had this conversation.
We've had it several times.
So why are we having visions about a vision?
It's still not clear to me because I've gotten mixed opinions or multiple opinions from the EDA, from, I'm going to say, a clinic to manufacturing to a hotel to, kind of all over the place.
And none of those are industrial.
Well, manufacturing is.
Well, maybe it's as simple as, to me, when you look at like our charter and what we're trying to do from an economic development, build tax base, improve the, overall job base in the city, it really comes down to jobs. So as we evaluate, I think, particular buyers, I think that's got to be close to the top of our priority is, how many jobs is it going to create either on-site or in the area? And that, could be, like we've talked about, mixed retail, various different office, it'd be great to have a Boston Scientific office there. I don't know when that'll happen, but
We lost him to,
Maple Grove, I know.
Yeah.
I know, I was using it as an example.
you're rubbing it in, aren't you, dude? That's all right. You rub that in.
But, to me, John, if you need direction, and maybe we don't want to do it right now, but to me, I think we've kind of given it, and it seems like it's all about jobs. And what are the things that would fit those, and then we can evaluate as they come in. But, do others disagree?
No, I think that's right.
Is that direction enough, John?
Yep.
Anybody want to change that opinion?
No.
Well, then, let's run with that clarity.
Is it, and you said it's actually, AIG has it listed now?
IAG, yes.
Okay.
Have we had this officially transferred into the EDA?
No, so it needs to be transferred after it's platted. So right now, we're going through the plat process. That should go to the council in April. So the Hennepin County recorded the deed in the city's name. It's kind kind of the only way it can be done from my understanding. I don't know the legalities of why that is, but, so once the city council approves the plat, then the plat would be recorded and the outlot would go to the EDA's name. The rest of the property, the stormwater pond, the right of way and all that would be staying in the cities.
Sure takes a lot to get this thing transferred, doesn't it?
Yes.
An act of Congress or God, whichever one comes first.
There's many steps.
Right.
Any questions on this?
I don't. I like this pack. It looks good. Zach too's on top of things, I would imagine.
Yes.
And he's aggressive.
Yep.
Has he had any other tire kickers besides?
Yes.
Good. Does he get a list, or do we get a list of that?
Not specific list. So the list that you're going to get is the commercial inquiries that are in the EDA packet. So again, everything that's color coded is kind of a repeat customer. If it's white or doesn't have a color, either it's a single inquiry or it's a small number of inquiries that doesn't match up with the color yet. Some of these are related to the triangle property that are not colored.
This is all on the triangle?
No,
No.
some of them.
No.
This is just inquiries in general.
Two or three.
It could be way back even, back in,
Yeah, this is just the month of February.
Okay, and what colors are EDA? I mean, new ones? Yellow?
No, it's essentially everything. For the triangle property, it's going to be a non-colored bar. So we've had 2 or 3 inquiries in the month of February, not enough to have a relation where it gets matched with the color.
the color just means it's the same people.
Same people,
Over and
yeah.
over, asking a different question. Basically, because you see Graco on there 2 or 3 times, and the last one being probably their preliminary plat, I guess, that they submitted.
Yep. So,
Interesting. I'll have to get this breakdown in color again from you, because I'm a little lost on it.
okay.
We won't waste this council's time with that, for me. All right, any questions on that, guys? Well, let's speed on it.
Balsam Street signage, so kind of where we're at with that, Raintree has verbally agreed to provide the city with a sign easement. Kind of the next step is for the city to create an easement document for Raintree to sign. And then for us as the EDA, it's to budget for it to build the sign. So the survey cost is going to be between $5,000 and $10,000. The sign itself is right around $100,000. 5 and 10,000, or 5 to 10,000. That's something that the EDA can afford to do, but not put in the sign. And we can budget for that for 2027. So any questions?
The 5 to 10K, that's for the documents for the easement?
Yes.
And we calculated like how many businesses we'd have to put in at what per month to kind of cover at least part of this.
I'm making an assumption there's a potential of about 30 businesses on Balsam, so that includes all the Raintree businesses. So that roughly is about $300, is rough math, $300 a month or so. I don't anticipate a lot of the businesses are going to want to advertise on there, so it's something we'll have to kind of talk about more. One of the things that we'll need is a signed policy of how do we figure out who can advertise on the business. So from my understanding, or my interpretation, that EDA's intent is that this is for Balsam businesses. I don't know if the EDA, if that's correct or incorrect, or...
Pretty much what I was thinking.
Okay.
Well, I guess what's everyone's opinion on selling marketing time on it, though? What if your business isn't on Balsam Lane, but you want to buy advertising time?
It would certainly help pay for the project.
Yeah,
That's the key deal there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, I think you might get some interest from others around town, but the only thing I have against it is it somehow misleading in any way, that people would think that business is in that development. But I agree with you as far as revenue, it makes a hell of a lot of sense.
I mean, you look at the businesses, I mean, Quick Trip, Curbside. I mean, there's plenty of businesses in Dayton that do business in Dayton.
Yeah.
Another option, and this is more for another meeting, is to lease the sign to an advertising company and have them handle it.
Yeah, I don't think we can do that.
Yeah, that
We
really,
ain't doing that.
we lose control at that
Yeah,
point.
we can do that. We have one of those in Chaplin, and it doesn't work for shit, just, you know.
So, well, something to think about, selling advertising space, pay for it.
X amount of slots, we figure out the math according to that, and we make it specifically to Dayton businesses.
I mean, being creative, and I don't remember exactly, but you could divide the sign up into like businesses on Balsam, kind of static or so, and then another section for purchased advertising.
A little flyer going to those 30 businesses wouldn't hurt to gauge some interest.
Yeah,
Wouldn't take much.
agree.
A couple hours worth of, a couple hours worth of writing an envelope out, or come up with a little picture of the sign,
Yeah.
blah, 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 here's what you get.
Maybe instead of the clock and the temperature you have, that's where the advertising is or something.
Yeah.
Well, the
I don't
clock
know.
and the temperature is part of the digital display on there. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
City events is a win, too.
yes.
I mean, the Easter egg hunt coming up, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there could be a lot of things like that.
I do know that in the really big one over in Chaplin, there's a whole lot going on there with city functions. And it gets a lot of press when you're sitting in traffic. There's a lot of sitting in traffic. Just so
In
you know,
Champlin, yeah.
But that sign is huge. And this is our only one ever in Dayton so far. If it can be rolling marquee, I've never seen traffic back that far up from the Sinclair up, but it's just a matter of time.
I can't
We're getting there.
read it from here, but how big is the actual digital screen?
6 by 8,
Okay, so that's pretty decent size.
yeah.
It'll modernize the area quite a bit. Now, in this process, are we taking down the other one? Is that the
Yes.
plan?
Yeah.
Tony's up with that?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's a step in the forward direction with that easement that we have.
So next step, send a flyer.
Figure out how you're paying for it would be the key.
I thought you were writing the check.
Yeah, sure.
Can we get a flyer to the 30 businesses?
Well, I want to get this in the budget before we go to the businesses
Oh.
and say that we're actually building this.
Well, won't be in the budget till 27, right?
Yeah.
We don't have it.
You don't want to generate interest beforehand? On the
Why would
record.
you want to get it in the budget? I mean,
For 2027?
right, you don't need it in the budget if all the businesses are going to pay for it.
Yes, because the businesses are going to pay for it, assumably over 10 years. We need the money
Oh, I
right
see, yeah,
away.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You gotta have a bridge.
Guess what?
You gotta have a bridge.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great idea. It's good for the community. We just gotta come up with the 100,000 to get the sign.
Well, if we sell the Triangle property, we might have the money ahead of
Yeah,
budget.
very true.
Okay.
Tell these guys to get on it.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's in their better interest to make this thing move.
I know, I'm teasing.
That they aren't dragging their feet. Okay, we all good with that? Going on to H. John, H, sign ordinance updates.
sign ordinance, I don't have anything news. I looked at I was missing from, or gone from the last meeting, didn't look at the tape, so kind of the direction that I got from the EDA was that the whole city code is difficult to read, and related to the sign code, it is also difficult. Jack, I think you suggested organizing it by zoning district. I would agree, but there are many different caveats. So, you can have a property that has multiple zones, you can have just different scenarios where, like using the vineyard property as example, we don't allow commercial signs in the ag district unless you have an event Center IEP, which that's not part of the sign code, so.
Yeah.
Any
Well,
way
and
you
that
look
one
at
was,
it.
to me, just a gap, we put the IUP ordinance in place,
Yeah.
not thinking about signs, and then it comes down the road, and, people are gonna have to have signs if they're gonna have ag tourism businesses, and, I mean, it was fine with me, I'm through it, I worked around it, but, it's, I think it is something to consider. Yeah, and whether you put it as part of the IUP or part of the sign ordinance, it could be accomplished either way.
Yeah. It's the end result that's important, it's just how do you get there?
Yeah.
Is complex.
Well, that's why we pay you the big bucks.
Yep.
Anybody else got input on that?
Question, does the EDA want to keep this on old business?
For the sign ordinance?
Yeah.
It's not like it's hurting anything by taking space. It's always in front of us then.
Yes, but if we're not doing anything with it, does it need to be in front of you?
The sign ordinance.
So are we
Yeah.
gonna, are we planning to take any action on any of the comments, or?
I don't know what the direction is.
Well, and my direction on the sign ordinance, which was, probably applies to a lot of the other ordinances, is that just the way it's laid out is, there's like no headers, there's,
Yeah.
there's numbers, but it's difficult to read.
Yep,
And
yes.
so, maybe even just bolding the title areas would help, but, so, that to me is very simple. More extensive would be to organize it by business zone area or whatever. And then sounds like the agritourism thing, Hayden recommended doing it through the IUP, and if that's gonna happen, then I'm fine with it.
With the formatting, kind of the way it works is the city council approves ordinances, we give it to, I can't think of the name of the company, and then they organize it and do all the formatting, the bolding and
Yeah.
underlining and all that. They have a system that we don't have control over.
Yeah, I know.
Any,
I forget the name of the company, but it's,
any discussion on them updating their 1970s looking format?
that's what it is, 1970s. And you can't search the damn
Yeah.
thing. If you've ever gone on to the ordinance thing, onto their website, and try to search something, forget it. It doesn't work. It's so antiquated. Maybe that's the best thing, is that I recommend the city council find somebody else to do it, because they're crappy.
I agree. It's really difficult to
And
navigate
it's,
in.
you try to go find something, search for it,
But a lot of cities use that same company, don't they?
Yes.
So,
We can look at other vendors, but it needs to be a budgeted item. So this would be at the council level versus
Yeah.
the EDA.
so can we make that recommendation?
Maybe making
to
stuff hard to
ourselves,
find
to the
is a
council.
strategic objective. You get what I mean?
They can find the time in between bees and birds. Maybe that might be a thing.
Okay, so keep it on the agenda. Is kind of where it.
Please.
Okay.
And then make a request to have it reviewed, or?
Yep. And I'll just add, I know St. Louis Park is going through this now. I think they've spent about I think it was $225,000 so far.
Redoing theirs.
Yeah.
Wow. If it has government on it, you increase your price by 10x.
Yep. Money has no object, no value.
Seems to be the underlying theme, huh? All right, new business. We ready to move forward?
Yes, 6A is the concept plan for Oppidan. So Oppidan is proposing a 172,000 square foot spec warehouse distribution building. This is located off of 121st Avenue, east of the mobile home park, and north of MTL. This is MTL, mobile home park, Invent, and then French Lake is off in the corner here. With the concept plan, it's a very high-level plan. It doesn't have the same details that you would expect in the preliminary plan or site plan. The intent is to get comments and recommendations from individual council and commissioners. So again, there's no action with this. The expectation is you can have one commission that says I like it, another commissioner that says I don't like it, and it's up to the developer to interpret what does that mean and come back with a formal site plan that has more detailed. The big question with this is the land is zoned for a mobile home park. In 2021, the city council rezoned this property from industrial to mobile home park. At that time, the owner of the mobile home park had planned to expand the park with 65 homes. That never took place, and so now it is available for sale. And Oppidan is not in the mobile home park business or in the industrial business. So the first question for the commission is what is the highest, best use of this property? Is it for mobile homes or is it for industrial?
Is this the property that the utility company was?
No, so that is
That's
next
what I was
door on the property that's cleared out.
That one,
This is
okay.
all a wooded
It's
area.
behind it, yeah, there's a lot of trees there. Okay, so, and they bailed on that, right?
The utility company, yes.
And this is not the former Oppidan property either.
No, so Oppidan formerly had proposed a project on we call it the DDL property
Yeah,
off of
the
Dayton
back up.
Parkway in 117. So this is a different project, similar building.
About the
So,
same size as.
I mean, you probably know the answer, but I mean, we're really talking, I mean, this proposal is warehouse versus either mobile homes, which I don't know how those are taxed.
As personal property.
Okay, so each lot is taxed, just like
Each house, yeah.
or trailer, right?
Yeah.
It's a mobile, yeah.
That span between the northwest corner and the mobile home park, down, right in the middle, right at the point of the building there.
Okay.
Up a little bit, but that right there, that's heavily treed too. Looks a little bit wet.
Well, the
Probably
whole, yeah,
cattails.
the whole property is wooded. You know, I'll say this doesn't look like this on the screen. There are many, I shouldn't say many. There's probably about a half a dozen wetlands of various sizes. There's also 2 ditches that run through the property. It's a complicated property to build on. There's a ditch that runs along the south. We believe, or the developer believes, this is under the control of the Army Corps of Engineers. It's likely the Corps of Engineers will say that this ditch cannot be altered. So the building would, and I don't know how this will work, we'll alter the location of this ditch. It'll probably be stormwater that pipes around the building. And then there's several wetlands in the middle of this building here and then along the parking lot. So the way this is oriented, again, it's a 172,000 square foot building. There's passenger vehicle parking along the northeast side and then semi-trailer parking in the back. And then stormwater ponds in the corners here.
Okay, my 2 cents are, I mean, I think the best use is either high density, it'd be a good spot for higher density housing and/or the mobile home. Probably is best from a city perspective in terms of tax base. And then the second best use would either be warehouse or manufacturing, because if you look at this area, I mean, MTL's right behind it. I mean, it's more of an industrial area, so you're not gonna, I don't think anyone's gonna buy it for single-family homes. So you're either looking at either higher density kind of apartment type building.
Yeah, I think a direction here is you
Yeah.
threw your chip in the hat with mobile, with what you said, or is it going to be industrial? Personally, I think industrial makes more sense than mobile homes. But I understand what you're saying.
I'm just looking at it from the city perspective. I mean, I'm assuming the tax base would be a bit better with either a higher density.
Not if it turns Section 8.
Well, that's the question. I mean, if
If you open up that Pandora's box, you're going to have to start doing that. So how about we just nod our head and say industrial at this point makes a lot more sense than opening up our box. But I understand you want to say,
Yeah, I'm just trying to look for the best tax approach for the city, that's all.
So multifamily generally pays more than anything else. I shouldn't say that. Commercial pays highest and then probably
Yeah.
mul-
So best use
apartments.
might be commercial, multifamily, then industrial.
But you won't get commercial.
I think any of them
No.
would fit there.
You won't get commercial there.
No, I don't think so. I think you're gonna either have like a multifamily or industrial, like manufacturing or warehouse.
staff has to ask more direct question with that one. Because it's a wide open question, so there's a catch-22 with,
To me, as long as there's enough screening between the building and the mobile home park, I'd be fine with putting that building up.
yeah. Because they're not going to complain about it,
Right.
they're in a temporary zone.
And mobile home park doesn't want to do anything with it, so.
Well then, makes sense to me.
I'm not against it.
I would agree. I mean, the mobile home park isn't gonna do anything with it. I don't see another mobile home park coming in to build one.
Well, it changed ownership also, right?
Yes.
And the new owners have no interest in developing it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we
Correct.
got here.
Correct. So the old owner, in 2021, the mobile home park that went through and through the rezoning owned both of these properties. Since that time, they've sold the mobile home park to a different owner. So I'm going to say the old owner that currently owns the wooded property, they're not opposed to doing mobile home park, but essentially they're going to sell it to whoever wants to buy it. And right now, that's Oppidan with an industrial project.
Last one's weighing in is on you. What do you like?
I'm okay with this concept. I think it needs more work, you know, and which is what happens, right? But I'm not opposed to it, no. I sort of mourn the loss of all those trees, but that's going to happen no matter who buys it.
John, did you have?
Yeah, I agree with the rest of the sentiment.
Does
I
that
have
supply
no objection.
direction for staff?
Yes.
Okay. B, economic development, strategic plan and goals. Where do you want to go with that?
So this was, Jack, I think you brought this up last month of wanting to talk about goals. I wasn't quite sure what the direction is of the EDA, so I left it quite open. Do you want to talk about anything in the strategic
Well,
plan?
I mean, I don't think we
or
have
just-
time this meeting, but to me, it's probably a separate meeting if we want to review these. I've reviewed it, there's only maybe one that's completely doesn't fit anymore, and that's the city center thing. The rest of them seem pretty reasonable to me, but do we need a meeting to review it? I mean, I looked at the study we did back in 2022, I mean, well done.
It's a good study.
I think it's directionally still very much the same, at least in my mind. But it's whether, particularly new members, feel differently, like if we should be doing a different direction than what that study says. But it seems very still on par, or on task.
So you need a couple tweaks.
Yeah, and that's just, when do you want to do that? Do you want to have a separate meeting? You want to do it at another meeting? Or people can just write in what they think and...
Everybody else okay with a couple tweaks? Because it's a really good concept or plan.
Well,
Yeah, I agree about the city center piece, and we've got that in several places to review that. So I think that's a minor change, but I think we should review it at a meeting, and I guess that's not today.
You guys? You probably have to go through this one a little.
Well, actually, I was just going to say thanks, because I think ultimately that reading that study really helped me, I mean, I would say that it's probably something that should be put in front of every new member right away. And, I could probably have seeked it out as well. But no, actually, I really appreciate, I agree about your one change there, but ultimately, I think it's certainly helped me. So thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah, it was a good plan. I didn't see much other than, we already had the structure, we were moving this way. Again, the tweaks are what changed it.
Yeah.
I think at this point, you're okay with that too?
I think it's just a great guidepost for us to
Yeah.
look at. every year and say, are we making progress toward this or not?
So let's put on the agenda for next week, next time.
Next month.
So
Month.
are there specific questions? Because otherwise what you're going to get is the same report.
Specific questions.
Related to the city center. So if you'd like,
Well, I was just assuming we take it out unless there's been a decision
Oh.
to move it somewhere.
I see. So just taking the whole.
Well, I mean, there's no reason to have a goal to do anything around the city center if there's no city center.
Correct. Correct.
How about
I
our
mean,
goals, we take
that's
the
my
city center out?
point.
I'm sorry?
How about our goals, we take the city center out of our report?
Is that the direction?
Well, until there is until the council designates where a city center would be, I think it's ridiculous to have a goal
Okay.
relative to the city center that doesn't exist.
Let that be direction. We'll take it out.
So I'd take that one out for sure. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. The others, I would say, do we want to review them or not? I mean, they seemed all pretty solid to me. To me, it's more about taking time once a year, preferably toward the beginning of the year, January, February, March, to look at this and say, do the things that we are thinking about doing this year fit with these goals?
Right.
That's really all it is.
I don't
It's
see
a
a change where
roadmap.
it wouldn't fit.
What's
You know,
that?
It literally, it says the same thing, so really we're
Yeah,
beating a dead horse.
It's good.
And it was a good draft concept. It was great to begin with. They did a good job. Unless somebody sees something that really sticks out, like this event center or this
City center.
city center, let's roll with what we got. There's no reason to change it.
You know, I think the goals, yes.
Yeah.
But I think to Jack's point, I think it is updated. I mean, you had things in there about what happened in '25 and so on, so I think it is something we should look at annually and say, what else have we done, and, should we be doing
Yeah,
something different?
like the numbers and stuff that are in the report could be updated to, if we have them, if new numbers.
I guess, so my thought is the 2022 strategic plan, we can take item number 5, which is promote the growth of the city center located at Territorial Road and Holly Lane. We would remove that from the strategic plan, but otherwise the 2022 strategic plan stays as it is, and then I'll provide an annual update in January of kind of how we're doing towards the other goals within the past year.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
that's good.
Okay.
We don't need to go in and write a complete new plan.
No.
No, I wouldn't do that. Okay.
He's just saying what progress toward it. I mean, even like updating the numbers where I think the latest numbers on growth in that are 2021 or something.
Yes.
And so, obviously there probably are some new numbers.
Newer, but not brand new. So like population-wise, the best numbers we have are from 2024.
Yeah. Still 3 years more. And I mean, a lot's changed in Dayton in the last 3 years, for sure.
Does that help you?
Yes. Do you want to see this again, or are you good till January?
I don't see where January would be a problem.
Okay.
That'll give staff plenty of time to get stuff done and
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You kind of had the 2025 stuff in there already, so.
Okay.
So what is the step, just for clarity, what is the step to remove 5? Is just delete or?
Yes.
Okay. So, got it.
makes sense with everybody? Okay. Staff updates. Jan, let us have it.
Okay, I've got a few of these. So, okay, first one, in February 24th, EDM, or the Economic Development Association of Minnesota, had a webinar which Chair Huntner attended, and myself and Hayden. It was with a couple of commercial developers, and the question was what do developers need from cities? Tim, I don't know if you had any opinions on this, but I've got on the slide just kind of my notes of what, kind of the highlights of it. So, factors going into development and the developers, I'm kind of combining the first and second item is, really the city needs vision for what a project or what a property should be developed into. So I'm just going to use the Triangle property as an example, where the EDA has been clear that this is, whatever is built is something that needs to generate jobs. And so if I'm proposing a truck wash, that's not a job creator. What developers need from cities is an understanding of what the market demand is, and so if the city has a desire for something, grandiose project and the market doesn't meet that, developers are going to get frustrated with that. I think the more experienced developers are going to understand that and just wait until the market catches up on it. What else? Developers need the city to be business friendly, so I think, Tim, you mentioned that a number of times, as well as having city officials be visible. So one of the developers mentioned that, in going to, I think he used the example of like a Chamber of Commerce meeting of, you see elected officials there and you make a personal relationship, and maybe there's a project, maybe there's not a current project, but when the project occurs, you have that built relationship already. Things that developers want cities to know is, and understand, is the time and effort it takes for a project to get approved. I'll use Oppidan as an example of they're putting in tens of thousands of dollars to apply for a project, and there's no guarantee it's going to be approved. So just being having the city be knowledgeable of what that cost is to kind of take the chance and go through a development application. Otherwise, the developers need the city to be accessible, to be collaborative, to focus on getting projects through. We had a kind of a conversation on master plan. So in larger projects typically are, and when I say larger projects that are hundreds of acres, are done with a master plan. So we tried doing this prior to Graco on the west side of French Lake. This is before my time, so I don't know the details of it. But the idea of a master plan is you have a master developer who then sells off portions of the project. And what the developers were saying is that master plans are just too big and complicated to implement, and that it's better to kind of do smaller chunks at a time. It's more palatable to developers and to lenders.
So they're talking about commercial, though?
Well, the two developers that spoke, they
One was
both
Ryan.
also do residential. So
Ryan's a pretty big commercial guy, though.
they are, yes, very big.
I suppose the master plan would be something like Arbor Lakes. where
Yes.
They
That'd be a
buy
great example.
500 acres, and you got some huge developer that's got this master plan of what they're gonna do. I mean, you could have to have a massive size company to do anything like
Yep.
that.
And I think part of it, I'm just generally categorizing. So you have this, say, a 500-acre project, and there's parts of it that the city and the public are going to be very excited about, but you can't pay for that until, say, phase 5 or something like that. But the selling points, like Arbor Lakes, the first projects that were built were the big box stores. So you had, the Best Buy, and I can't remember, the movie theater, and probably some other projects. That was nothing exciting. What was exciting was when Main Street was built, but that wasn't the first phase.
Yeah.
So just trying to be patient with the developers and let, the first projects that are going to pay off be built first, and that justifies the nicer things later on.
Yeah, well, the clock's against them, so if they don't pull the trigger, someone else might. Without a tie-up of that property or whatever their development was, there's always somebody looking to come in behind them, because people like Ryan, when they start snooping around, other people pay attention.
Yep.
This was a great thing to be a
Yeah.
part of. These guys, they're the guys making the decisions.
Mhm.
Excellent. But again, this is stuff we all know as business guys, we know this, but they just do it on a way different level.
And when you think about Dayton, where the master plan would have made sense would have been the exit. Well, that ship sailed. So then the only other master plan I could see would be this city center thing we talked about. Whereas if you said, wait, we want a city center here, and you go to a big developer and say, we want a master plan for that city center area, which is going to include
some of these things that the city really wants, but, you know, the other things that you decide to put in. But to me, if you look at the city, where else would you even think about doing like an Arbor Lakes kind of master plan type of thing?
I don't know, a lot of people aren't really, you see the history or the trend, a lot of people are doing stay-at-home shopping now. And this is one of the key points that the gal talked about was, are there really these massive things anymore, these store, when you can simply get online and have it shipped to you?
Well, there's a lot of vacant malls, that's
Right,
for sure.
right.
Yeah, but drive through Arbor Lakes and try to find a place to park.
Yeah.
I mean,
That one's.
There's still people going.
Yeah.
You know, I think that certainly a good chunk of business has shifted to online, but not all of it.
Yeah. I think Arbor Lakes is unique in that it's kind of an outdoor, you know, more boutique-y kind of versus, you know, like.
Something to do instead of a destination.
Like, you know, Ridgedale or what, the one up north, Northdale or whatever it is. I mean, that one's pretty well shut down, isn't it? The one
Northtown.
Northtown, yeah.
How about the one in, where's that place? On 35W going north and left? Centerville? Used to be, Central Shop was up there. Big, huge building. Totally empty now.
I don't know.
Well, Maplewood's kind of empty too, isn't it? Maplewood Mall?
Maplewood.
Olson Equipment's up there.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, that there's way more online nowadays, but there's probably some, to me, like, if you took an Arbor Lakes and miniaturized it, where you have, you know, just some boutique-y type shops in a small area where it's not, you know, I don't know that we could ever support anything like that in this city. I mean, being so close, I mean,
Someday it'll happen, but none of us will be here.
well, that could be too.
Or it's a different model, right? It's event-based, you know, you think about, you know, outdoor, you know, bar district or something, just,
Yep.
you know, or entertainment district.
And that'll change as we age out.
Right.
All these not Gen Xers they shop from home, they stay at home, they work at home. When they go out, they're just walking the dog around, where we actually go places.
I mean,
Tell me I'm wrong.
There is a lot of
I
that.
would be speaking from a selfish perspective, and you all know that, but, I mean, one of the things Dayton sort of does have is this agritourism, you know, we got the pumpkin thing, we've got the Fisher Farms apple thing, I guess, and then my place that we're putting in,
Car show.
car show. So, I mean, there, to your
I wouldn't wanna
different
be
business
there.
model,
Yeah.
there maybe there is something that, you know, is more unique and different as you think about it as a city than trying to just say, well, we're gonna be the same as Maple
Yeah.
Grove with
No.
Arbor Lakes, you know?
Demographics change that.
And with the more online buying, all that kind of stuff, maybe the model's different. I don't know.
If you watch the UPS and they got these Performas, FedEx, all these shipping companies, they are gaining more and more, especially Amazon's. I mean, they're building more and more places. That ain't telling me they're shopping in stores, they're telling me they're shopping online.
I'm surprised we haven't been approached by a data center yet.
We will. We need more power in the area first before we do that.
I know, I'm just surprised. You hear it a lot around, so.
And water.
Did that answer your update, John?
Well, I didn't have a question on there,
Yes.
but yeah.
I had a question. Well, two things really. So where it says most important things for cities to know, this is kind of a wish list. Right. I mean, feedback from developers and businesses on things they would like to see different.
Yeah, so, you know, Oppidan, because that's the current project, so, you know, this will be a spec building, we don't know what's going to be put in. You know, does the EDA want to have any say in that? I mean, right now, it's, you know, it's whatever would be permitted in industrial. We talked about wanting jobs.
Yeah.
This could be a warehouse with 10 jobs, you know, or it could be manufacturing with 200 jobs.
Right. Well, I think we want that information. I don't know if we can have it.
As a spec building, no. I mean, it's essentially they with a speculative building is the developer builds the building and leases it to whoever wants to lease it to. And we
Highest
don't
bid
know-
goes?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know. who
Which we have
that's
a
gonna
lot
be.
of those.
Right,
Yeah.
and I guess you don't, I don't know, that, in some ways you don't want to tie their hands. I mean, you look at the cubes, now that was not well orchestrated, I would say, because I don't think they wanted it to sit empty for that long, but at the end of the day, we got a much better use out of that building than
Yes.
was originally, how it was originally marketed. You know, way more jobs, way more, I mean, it's a positive to the community more than 500 trucks a day or whatever we're gonna be going there, so. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing if they're doing a spec building. Of course, we'd like to be in on the joke, you know, sooner rather than later on what they're intending, but I don't know. You know, I'm not sure I have a good answer to that one, I guess is all I'm saying. The other thing I wanted to ask about, it talks about above that, you know, what do developers need from the city and city officials at public and business events. Is there another chamber of commerce besides the I-94?
Not that serves
Coalition?
Dayton.
That's what I was wondering, because I go to those meetings,
Okay.
and I'd say rarely do we have any conversation about Dayton in particular.
You know, so like the EDAM, it is, I mean, there are a lot of larger developers that attend this meeting or meetings. So it's essentially, there's an annual conference, typically of occasional webinars. So if you like, I can continue to provide the EDA with when those are, if you'd like to attend. And then the same thing with the conference. That takes place in January.
Yeah, Tim, are you gonna go again?
Wasn't I there the last one?
The webinar,
Oh,
yeah.
and this is located where next time?
Well, the webinars are just on the internet.
Right.
Conferences are typically in Minneapolis.
I mean, I would go.
Downtown?
Yes, the last one,
I'll
I
protect you.
think the last one was either I think the last one was in St. Louis Park. But it's typically close.
Put us on the radar. Let's see where that
Yeah,
lands us.
okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
So, and I should just say, if there is interest, this is something I need a budget for. So it's one thing if we have one EDA member, if the 7 of you are going, it's more of a budgeted item.
So speak up if you want, throw them an email, text, smoke signals, whatever you want.
I'll
If you wanna go.
I'll just budget for it, and then we can talk about it again when we go through the budget.
Okay.
If we
Because you
budget
would
for,
go as city council member, right? Is that how, okay. Scott, you would go as,
I guess, they've got a cart
Who
with
knows?
hats, so.
okay.
you
That's
still
code
need
for
a-
no.
I'll tell you that day.
Or whichever
Tell you
name
that
Ken
day.
can pull out of the drawer.
Okay, all right. then.
I guess my only ask here, and maybe I'm just a little confused at what collaborative spirit means, but, you know, I guess the how, you know, like, what is, I know that sounds really good, but I don't understand what would make us better or more collaborative, you know, sorry.
Sure, so it's, I'm gonna say it's probably more applicable to the city council than the EDA, just because we don't have anyone that shows up for our meetings. So with the EDA, it's easy when you have an applicant in front of you to say, yes, how can I help you? You know, how can I help your project get done? At the council level, when we have public hearings and we have residents that are in opposition to it, the question that the council needs to consider is who does the council represent? Is it the landowner? Is it the neighbors? Is it the developer? And the answer is it's all of the above. And so it's kind of taking in advisement of what is the highest and best use of the property and how does a project, how can a project be changed that mitigates or lessens the nuisance factors that it might create. And this happens frequently at council meetings, not so much at EDA.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or? No?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Then this is, we've got a number of announcements. Hopefully we don't have to worry about snow again, but just the snowplow policy is 2 inches or more There's no parking on the streets until it's plowed. Just when streets are plowed, there's a lot of different varying factors for how much snow we get, what time of the day it is, and is it blowing. So you might only have an inch of snow, but it's drifting across the road and needs to be plowed. The bridge. So Dayton is part of a four-city coalition that is lobbying the legislature for a Tier 1 and Tier 2 EIS, or Environmental Impact Statement. Excuse me, this is a fairly lengthy and expensive process, and it's sort of the first step of studying where a bridge would go. And so again, we're asking the legislature for, and I'm not sure if we're asking for just a Tier 1 or for both a Tier 1 and Tier 2. So we'll find out in May or June how that goes for this year.
This will just be to try to figure out where to put one, if you put one.
Is it feasible?
Yes,
What are
is
the
it feasible?
barriers?
What's the impact on the environment? What's the impact on traffic? Doesn't relate so much to the cost of the bridge itself. So that will be later.
Notice that when staff updates water
It's got to be 4 times what the exit
Yep.
was.
Wellhead water treatment plant update
10,
should be
20.
online.
It's $1
later
billion
this
or
month.
better.
And this is located across the street from Elsie Stevens Park. Love Local, I don't have a whole lot of information on this. We did apply for a grant last year. There's a little bit of a postponement on the county's part, but we do have a $30,000 grant that's intended for building renovations in Old Town. So this is commercial businesses, not a lot there, so specifically it's going to be, I'm going to say the liquor store, the McNeil Building, the Dayton Bar. So once I have more information from the county, I'll have more information for the EDA then.
Have they all applied for that?
No one has. So
No.
only the city is kind of the pass-through, so we've applied for the grant, we've been approved, not done any of the paperwork for it yet.
Oh, okay.
So, but Jack, I'll be reaching out to you and
Well,
to
McNeil's already,
McNeil.
yeah, it's his building, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I've told him what I thought needed to be done, but
Apparently we need sidewalk.
Fix the sidewalk.
fix the sidewalk, yeah.
I think we can do that under 30 grand, can't we?
The sidewalk, it's for the building, not the sidewalk.
We're being facetious.
Couple other grants that I'm looking at, also from Hennepin County. One is, what do I have on here? This is Hennepin Planning Grant Program, so this is to contract with a consultant to create a plan. And so one idea would be for Old Town, another idea is for the city center, but if the EDA wants to take that out of the strategic plan, then we would apply for a grant for that. I guess my question for the EDA is, are you supportive of applying for a grant for Old Town? And this would be to come up with a more detailed study for how, I'm going to say either vacant or underutilized properties in Old Town could be better used or better developed.
Yes.
I would say yes.
Okay. Let's see. So there's another grant opportunity where I'm looking at the Balsam Gateway sign. There's a high probability that this is not going to be applicable to the grant program. It's geared more towards commercial retail, business centers that are walkable. So when I think of the Balsam, we have Raintree, but that's the only retail business along Balsam. So the other businesses along Balsam, you're not going to have walk-up traffic.
Is the Raintree Plaza owner, I mean, he doesn't apply for this, the city has to.
The
city
city would
does.
apply to it.
And then essentially on his, or their behalf, right? I mean, if you were, I mean, it wouldn't be
Yeah.
bad to update Raintree, but I mean, I don't know if it's, is it updatable or do you?
No,
Bulldoze it.
I mean, it almost looks like it's a tear down to me, but.
The sign you says may not be eligible, you don't know for sure.
I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure I can apply for it. I guess, there's no harm in doing that, but I think there's a slim chance we would get it for the sign.
Then we apply. Do you agree with that? There's a may. If it ain't black and white, I'd kind of play.
Okay.
Then we're only 50,000 ready to go.
Yep. Any questions?
None.
Okay. Again, the city has an app. If anyone has that on your phones, it's helpful in receiving information.
The app does not, I like this app, it's a great deal.
Yeah.
But it does not align with the website. It's either one's updated or the other one's updated, vice versa.
Yep.
I saw an RFP in there that was on one but not the other, and the RFP link was not operational, so therefore, there's nothing you can do with it. But I would say that we'd have to be more on top of, if it's gonna be on one, it should be on both.
Yep.
That's all.
Yep.
A great app though, really, it's fast, bam, send it. Instead of trying to find it through a website and hunt and search and, who has time for that? Especially when they're texting and driving, No one has time for that.
They'll miss our sign.
You make time.
Steering, trying to get on the road, on the ice, with snowstorm, Okay, next announcement.
Okay. Play Place at the Activity Center every Tuesday morning. Dice and Dominoes the second, fourth Wednesday afternoon. We have embedded social worker that's available to the public on the third Wednesday of the month. This is at the Dayton Police Department. This is, to me, pretty interesting. So Three Rivers Park District is partnering with a number of organizations to celebrate kind of what they're calling a Sacred Water Shared Future. So 1926, and I don't know who this was, did a survey of aquatic species in the Mississippi River and found 3 fish. So this is kind of a celebration of I'm going to say bringing life back to the Mississippi River over the last 100 years. So I was not around in 1926, but I've heard stories from the 60s of the Mississippi River. That is where you threw anything you didn't want, essentially. So we've come a long way since then.
Someone should have got some pictures of the swans this spring. I should have taken some, but there were, God, I bet you there were several hundred swans on the Mississippi River all along from Elk River Bridge down. Oh, you live right there. You probably saw them all the time.
Yeah, they seem to be doing really well.
Yeah, I mean, they're everywhere. Crazy.
Yep. Leprechaun on the Loose. So this is this week at LC Stevens and Bouquet Overlook. You can go out there and find gold coins and maybe find enough money to build our sign.
Is that what the rainbow
Plastic gold coins.
thing is?
I've not been over there, so
Some kind
I would
of
imagine.
blow up looking gateway kind of a thing. And I thought, well, that's not where the Easter egg hunt is. I wonder
No.
what that was for.
Yeah, this is for the Leprechaun on the Loose.
Okay.
That
Just
is-
follow the tracks, you'll find the gold coin.
You will now.
You will know.
Little short tracks up there.
Lights Out Minnesota, so this was brought up at the last council meeting. There are 250 plus bird species that migrate through Minnesota during March and April. So the city's encouraging people to turn your lights out between, I'm going to say now and April, to just not let the birds migrate and not interfere, not let lights interfere with their migration pattern.
Wow. Where'd you guys find the picture? You can really get
I don't
after it
know.
if you want to, huh?
Yeah. I was going to say, that was just last week that you guys.
That was just last week.
Yeah.
John, what's council's position on this lights out thing? Have they moved to any type of formal on this?
Yes.
So they're gonna do a lights out?
Yep.
It's just
Encourage it.
So what?
Encourage it. We're not shutting the power off.
We're not shutting the power off. We're just. if you wanna
Will that,
turn your
does that
lights out,
include
go ahead.
shutting all the city lights off as well?
That are,
Supposed to be
it's
only aesthetic
encouraged. So
lights.
we have, for
Parks,
example.
trails, side lights,
No.
street lights?
City
No.
buildings.
Anything
Just silly
safety
buildings.
wise doesn't get turned off.
So for example, internal lights in the building, that's why we have blinds that are closed at the council chambers.
No street lights?
No,
No.
streetlights are gonna stay
I
on.
think that'd be kind of a safety thing.
Right. It's a balance.
Okay.
Just do the bird sunglasses.
Easter egg hunt will be Saturday, April 4th. That's here at Central Park at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. You know, the first slide that I had on for the EDA meeting in last year's event where, I don't know, there were hundreds of kids that attended, so this has become very popular.
Very big.
Assuming there's no snow.
It's not 400 below.
Spring cleanup day will be May 2nd at Central Park. It does require that you have a valid driver's license that shows you are a Dayton resident.
Nothing for the businesses on this?
I don't know. I don't believe so, but I don't know for sure.
I'll have to use your license then.
All right.
Hennepin
Or yours.
County,
Or yours.
Hennepin County is sponsoring a Swap It event, so the next event will be Saturday, May 2nd. So if you don't want to throw away your junk, you can trade it for somebody else's. So May 2nd, this will be in Crystal. They have different event locations. Mother's Day bouquet arrangements would be Saturday, May 9th at the Activity Center. City open house will be Wednesday, May 13th at 5 o'clock, and I will send out probably just a meeting reminder if you would like it. I guess a question for the EDA, I know.
Do we want a table, do we want to be represented on the thing like we did?
Correct.
We did not in the past, we haven't yet, but we did attend. So if we want to man the table and say, this is what we do,
How many hours is it?
2, 5 to 7 on Wednesday the 5th.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
so we have volunteer tag.
What's the date?
The
13th.
13th of May.
You want to check your schedule.
Would there be anyone else that would want to?
I'll be there, but I think probably to get dunked in the dunk tank, not sit at a table.
We put the table at the dunk tank.
Did you
Say,
get in
"Do you
that?
need a,
Did you get in?
Hmm?
Did you get dunked?
Oh, yeah.
I would show up and do the table if, like, all the materials are prepared. I don't want to prepare all the
Yes.
materials.
Yep, I just need to know what you all want.
Well, I mean, I guess it'd be all the stuff on the website that we
And
have.
Jack's gonna want someone to sit with,
Where is it located at?
Public Works.
I mean, if you're looking, I'll go. If we need people there.
he needs a second on a table.
Maybe we just sit at the table and talk about what the EDA does, but we'd need, some pass outs,
Yep.
even things like this, and
I'll go with you if you want.
I'd do it. I mean,
Okay.
it's only a couple hours, right?
Yes.
Yes.
5 to 7. Usually,
May 13th.
that time of day I'm by myself anyway, so.
Usually good turnout.
Okay. I'll put.
We just need to pull together whatever materials we'd want to share with the public, I guess.
Sure.
That's some
Pull-
luggage.
I'll pull some stuff together.
What's that?
Citywide garage sale, the weekend on June 3rd and 6th, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Dayton Car Show, we have 6 dates between June and August. That will be at the Elsie Stevens Park. Adopt a Park, we have, a couple of parks have been adopted, but there's a list of parks that are available here. The expectation is that adopters would clean up the park or pick up litter once a month. Question, flower pot sale. So in March, we're a little early for this. But questions that I have for the EDA is on cost. So last year, we were selling sponsorships for $125 per pot. Our cost last year was about $113. The question is, do you want to keep it at $125? Otherwise, the previous cost was $200.
Scott, you can take lead on this one. This is kind of your baby. What do you want to do with that?
Well, the object is to get them sold, so I say keep it at 125. We don't need to make money on them.
I agree.
And I think they all got sold last year, right?
One way or another, yeah.
Make sense to everybody? Because I'm okay with that.
I think.
Okay, we'll keep it the way it is.
Okay. Dog treat stations, we have sponsorships available for $780. So if you, I can't remember how many stations there are. I want to say there's 6 or 8 around
I
town.
think there's 6 of them, I think.
6. So again, this is, buying dog treats, this is available. So for anyone that doesn't want to, would like to donate, but not $780, I have a $125 flower pot that's available. Election judges, the city is looking for election judges for the primary in the general election in August and November. Pays $16 to $20 an hour. More information can be found at the city's website. Elevate Hennepin, again, just to push this, the Elevate Hennepin has several programs that are available. This is geared towards small businesses and entrepreneurs who are trying to start a business. In the packet, no, I didn't, it's not included in the packet, but it was emailed separate, was the 2025 annual report from Elevate Hennepin. So we did have 3 businesses that, 3 Dayton businesses that participated. It's Being Agile Consulting, Maju's Kitchen, and Radiant Journey Healthcare. So this is not necessarily businesses that have a brick and mortar location in Dayton. It could be someone that lives in Dayton and has a business elsewhere in Hennepin County. Other events, this is a list, and it's a little bit cut off here, but events that Elevate Hennepin is offering during the months of March and June. So it's quite a few here. And a lot of it is just getting the word out to, generally speaking, entrepreneurs who are trying to figure out, I've got an idea, I'm just needing money, or I need help in figuring out marketing or how to manage the business from idea stage to more of a business stage. Hennepin County has a grant newly created grant available. It's $3,000 to $10,000 to cover up to 2 months rent or mortgage payments for businesses that lost customers or employees during the I'm going to say the ice events for the month of January and February. So I don't know if there are any that are in Dayton. This is probably more specific to either the Minneapolis or the closer suburbs. But still, Dayton is in Hennepin County and qualifies for this. What is it? Just a quick update. So March 6th, I was at a city-county workshop for a vendor that's named Urban 3. This is a company that visualizes data. So in this case, it's visualizing property valuation in kind of a 3D rendering. So the map at the left is Hennepin County, and it has spikes in coloration for property values based on I'm going to say the value per property. So the spikes that you see the high spikes that you see in Minneapolis, these are condominium buildings. So you think of, or at least I would always think of, like the IDS Center and some of the larger skyscrapers, that those are the properties that are generating all the money for Hennepin County. They're not. It's apartment buildings. And you can't see here, but this is the 94 corridor. There is another spike around the Rogers, 94, 101, Brockton area. And, again, you can't see it here, but in the Rogers area, their spike is also an apartment building. It's not all the industrial buildings that are along 101. So as we work on the comprehensive plan, this is a tool that I want to consider us using. This image here is Lafayette, Louisiana, which has nothing to do with Dayton, but kind of the same idea. This is a 3D rendering of the cost for services, and so it's kind of the opposite of what is the cost of services per property. And generally speaking, in a very generalizing, you have the black costs that are here that are in the positive for, and I don't know what these uses are, and then you have the negative costs. And generally, the negative costs are going to be single-family homes that are, probably consuming more services than what they're paying for. Monthly update, so this is a graphic of residential homes that are built, whether it's single-family townhomes and apartments, going back to 2007. So I'm going to try to provide an update to the commission each month. So the month of February, we had 20 home permits that were issued. That was a significant jump over January, which I think we had 11. So as you can see, there's a lot of variation. Ideally, we're kind of looking for, I'm going to say, a flatter bar graph versus having big ebbs and flows. But we're in kind of a hyper economy where we're going to have different jumps. But generally the last couple of years, it's been fairly, I'm going to say, roughly between 15 and 20 homes a month. Since 2022, but you can see this where we had this gap here that was during COVID, and then we played catch up for quite a while. So last year we had a reduction in home permits by about 46%. That was not equal with our surrounding cities, so which makes me feel good. So although we had a dip in our number of homes built, that's probably specific to Dayton, not to the northwest suburbs.
So the other cities were worse, is what you're saying?
No, they were doing better than Dayton.
Oh?
So we have a couple large projects that will be under construction this year, so I think our permits are going to be better than they were last year. In talking with residential developers, they're thinking just overall the economy is going to be similar to what it was last year.
Any thought on why that was? Just curious.
I think it was, part of it was just the lots that were available. We had one project, Brayburn, that had was just getting started. So I think the first phase of Brayburn filled up fairly quickly, and then there was a gap before the second phase was available.
I would guess too, DCM Farms is going to be
Yes.
coming online, at least in terms
Yep.
of sales this year.
So I think for DCM, if you drive past that every, once a week, it's going to change every time you look at it. Any questions? No? The front page of the March 2nd Fillmore County Journal was that Hayden Stensgaard accepts position of Rushford City Administrator. So you notice Hayden's not here. His last day was last Friday. Kind of what our plan is that we'll have a consultant planner that will take his place for a couple days a week and handle permits, and then eventually we'll post this position.
Who's the consultant planner?
It's Landform Professional Services, but Grace Gerard is the person that will be staffing it.
Hayden was really good. I like.
Yes. Yep. He is missed.
Yeah, it's in these guys. Did you get one of these?
No. I mean, it's online. I mean, I have it in my email.
All right, announcements. EDA next meeting is April 21st. Before we bounce today, I want to make sure that everybody knows that we have been in communications with Arden Hills. Arden Hills is an EDA that is trying to model their EDA after hours. They've approached me with this, hey, what are you guys doing? I hear that a lot of things are happening. They want to see how we do things as a group, as opposed to how they're not doing things over there. And they are not doing things over there. They're sitting on that big piece of property, 450 some acres, the old arsenal, I believe. Mm-hmm. It's called the TDK?
TCAP. Well, that's the abbreviation for Twin Cities Army Ammunition Plant, but otherwise it's called Rice Creek Commons.
Okay, kind of a big deal for them. They've also wanted, Boston Scientific over there, and Boston Scientific elected to go to Maple Grove because it just didn't fit their demographics as far as actual bodies, people, professional type of thing. So we weren't the only ones that missed out, but, and they were very big in that mix with that piece of property. They still gotta do hazmat environmentals on to see what the 50s dumped there. But I would imagine, you know. So we are being watched, not just by us. And they're very active and want to say, hey, how are you guys doing it? So they're literally remodeling their EDA against what we're doing. Because we are separate from the council, they are also separating their EDA from the council. They feel that it's a very good model for them as well. Old people sticking to the habits for a long time, and they don't have this business thing going.
To that point about, you know, kind of elevating your reputation, presence, as you all know, I mean, Graco's corporate office is, I'm assuming, going to start breaking ground this summer.
Yep.
We ought to think about how we can leverage that, you know, in terms of reputation and economic development, because that's going to be a big deal for those.
That is a big deal.
I mean, you got, I think they said 250 jobs, maybe could go up to 350 over some years.
Well, these are
but-
corporate offices, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
They had a render, you know, they had the concept plan, of course, you guys all saw it, but, yeah, I mean, it's a nice looking building that faces French Lake. I think it's going to be pretty key for attracting other businesses to the city, maybe versus warehouses. And, we should think about how do we as an EDA, because that's our mission, right, economic development, is how do we leverage that event, that happening, because I think it's going to be pretty big.
Who makes that call to Graco and say, hey, we want to use your name in a lit piece?
It's going to be out there by just through the media.
Yeah, it will. I'm just thinking, is there, I mean, even, I kind of wonder even right now, like, we all know because we're involved in the city, right? But, you know, how many residents really even know that's happening? And, you know, just things like that, like how can we could use the communicator, we could use the app, we could use different ways to let people know, and so I think that will help. You know, I think it'll help bring mixed retail and other things because they see those jobs there and they're gonna be like, well, they need to eat lunch somewhere, or they need to get a coffee somewhere, or whatever. It's just a thought, and
How do you want to do it?
so I just
social
mentioned
media,
a
finance?
few things, like you got the communicator, you got the app, you've got your website, you've got, I mean, it's, you know, I think anytime we got a business that comes into the city that is going to be exciting for the community, promoting it is a good thing. And I think that this happens to be one of them. You know, I mean, so far we had mostly, and I don't want to harp on it, but warehouses. And I mean, no one's going to get too excited about a warehouse. But, you know, I think we've got Greg Hill coming. My place is coming in, you know, a year or so. Probably spring of '27. So I think things like that people will actually be like, hey, man, there's someplace like that's exciting versus.
Ribbon cutting, are we invited to ribbon cutting as EDA?
A year and a half from now, probably.
Is that what they think it'll take to build? A
Yeah.
year and a half?
Yeah.
I assume they're going to break ground this summer, though.
Spring, yeah.
Spring.
Well, if they
yeah.
break in spring, that's ribbon cutting type of thing. Digging shovels, gold helmets, the whole weird thing.
I don't know if they plan on doing that with this. They did that previously in, I don't know if that was 2018 or somewhere around there, with starting the Graco campus.
I bet we would have.
They did
I
something
mean,
on
like,
the second
those are the
building,
kinds of
didn't
things
they?
I'm thinking, like, you could
Groundbreaking.
ask them, like, you know, hey, this is,
Okay.
why don't we do these things? I don't know what the whole plan is. I don't have all the pieces. I'm just saying I throw it out there for all of us to think about and say, like, what
Yeah.
could we do to leverage this, to make a little hay?
So maybe we could ask them if they're gonna do a golden shovel thing. If they do, we would like to attend.
Okay.
It's a blue shovel.
Is it blue?
It's a blue shovel.
Okay. Blue it is.
Other things to think about, in trying to attract, I'm gonna say those highly desirable businesses is land availability and zoning. So we don't have a lot of land that's available. Earlier we had talked about the Oppidan area, so that we have, next to Oppidan, there's 2 vacant lots that are across from French Lake. Those are zoned industrial, so in theory, you can have another, a contractor's yard or warehouse. If it's something where you would like to have office space, that's a different zoning category. So it's kind of it's a question of, if you want offices, you're gonna have to say no to other businesses where there's probably more of an immediate market. Same thing with the Triangle property of, if you want jobs, but right now if the market is a car wash, then you have to be a little patient until we have a project that wants to generate jobs.
Okay. Put a fork in it. I want to make sure we know that, I don't know if our missing council member, or councilman,
Commissioner, yep.
EDA is not here today because I don't know why. You might have told me something. I want to check my notes and see if it is, so I want to make sure that's not a non-excused absence. So I'll check into that and let you know.
Okay.
Anybody else want to add before we bounce? EDA is no longer in session.